Today, the Mercury Marine destination takes us up to Cochrane in northern Ontario. The end of the road for this trip is Cochrane Air Services, and then a fly-in to a private lake you have all to yourself. Even small lakes can be a challenge, but the old saying that 90% of the fish are in 10% of the water is often true. And a few helpful aids can sure help you find the magic areas. Walleye are the target today, and attention to details can make a huge difference. Some lures have been forgotten for the latest fad, but they still work. A new twist to an old favorite this week on Fishful Thinking. Fishful Thinking is brought to you by Mercury Marine. Princecraft boats dominate the waters. Minn Kota trolling motors. And Ram trucks built to serve. Water conditions are brought to you by Humminbird Fish Finders. Get the big picture. Waters can blow up fast, but you can be more comfortable. Smooth out your ride with Smooth Moves shock-absorbing seat suspensions.
You know, this is such a simple technique, and ever since I was a small child, this always worked in so many different lakes, and it's absolutely perfect for these northern walleye lakes with sustained water. Everyone uses a jig. Everyone has jigs and grubs. But the jig and grub with the little safety pin spinner on it, it just gives extra vibration and flash. You can flutter it. It helps you keep out of the snags. And let me tell you, it catches everything. Big pike, walleye in these lakes. I've seen monster muskies caught on these things when the fish aren't hitting anything else. There we go. Come on, buddy. Nice little walleye. Nothing wrong with that at all. Caught in the net. Through the net. There we go. Beautiful, fun walleye. You know what? They absolutely love this. Standard jig, safety pin spinner. There's a lot of pike in here, so I'm going to a nickel titanium leader on this as well. Plus, when you're dragging it through the rocks, you're not chewing up your lines. And a set the hook grub. And the set the hook grubs now have that bait fuel in them, so it's heavily scented and the fish just hold on to it. Well, I might get another fish out of that, we'll find out. But it's just so much fun to use. You don't have to drag bottom, you can flutter it. You can drag bottom, you can cast it out and retrieve it straight like a spinner bait. I like getting it down there, right off the bottom. You let it sink down. If you got a nice drift, you can do it while you're drifting. If you're dead flat calm, you can cast and retrieve it. But when you lift it up, you can feel that little blade, and the fish feel that, and you drop it. Drop. And you just pump it back and forth like that, and the fish can just pound it some days. Like I said, sometimes they just punch this thing. I'm thinking pike, but it's hard to tell. It's not doing anything crazy. No, another nice little walleye. That one's making some little lunges like a little pike would have. And there we go. Now, this time I've dug out my gloves because I don't like getting cut up by any of these walleye. You gotta be so careful of their spiny dorsal fin and the razor sharp cheeks they've got. Beautiful size walleye, just so much fun. There you go, buddy. Keep those handy out this way. Always check after every fish. It's so easy to go back in going, I want another one. Make sure that's not bent out. Sometimes the hook will get bent because these are just jig heads. Sticky sharp, I want that grabbing skin and touching and grabbing, because when a fish grabs that, if it's not sharp enough to grab skin and stick, it can slide right out of the fish's mouth. You want to be able to stick and then get that hook buried into that fish. The wire's great, and this last foot of line, half the time you forget to retie this. You're on a trip, you're out here for 3 or 4 days, or day after day you're casting. This gets so much abrasion from snapping and casting. Retie that every night. Everyone forgets about that. They'll check the leader, they'll check their hook. But that foot of line, I retie it every night. Little wall. I wonder if I could just lift you in. I think I can. No, you're bigger than I first thought. There we are. Nice little fella. Not so little. Aha. So much fun. So much fun. I can't emphasize on trips like this, boat control in Minn Kota. I can quietly stay on edges, and I wouldn't even know where the edges were if it wasn't for my hummingbird. Little portable fish finder, it's your eyes. So many people just cast the shoreline, and I don't know how many times I've gone across the lake and found a shoal on a rock hump in the middle of nowhere. And if you come into a lake like this, you'd never know it was there if you just cast the shorelines. So a little bit of boat control, some eyes, you're catching a lot more fish.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Mercury. Power and dependability you can count on.
A lot of folks have trouble seeing at night, and I want to see and be seen. I have an assortment of lights in my boat, lights on my Minn Kota Talon to help me with early mornings or late nights. I have lights in the back bed of my Ram, lights in my Ram boxes, and I use my Ram boxes all the time. And one of my favorites, blind spot alert. This light in my side mirrors tells me I have a vehicle in the lane beside me, and when I have a trailer, it extends the range to warn me someone's beside my trailer. Awesome. It's like an extra set of eyes. I even have clearance lamps on my Ram to help folks see me at night. Anything you can do to help others see you is always a plus. Reflective tape along your trailer in areas that you don't have any lights. The more you're seen, the safer you're going to be.
Conditions today are brought to you by Revo Sunglasses. See what others don't.
Right on that edge again. You know, as nice it is to come up here and catch fish on the shoreline spots that everyone beats, when you can find spots that fish haven't seen a lure, you're really catching a lot more fish. Pike or walleye, what you got? Small hooks, you don't want to rip them all out. You're staying down. And another nice little walleye. There we go. Leave you there for a second while I get a glove on. Leave you in the water. Maybe 2 gloves. These are Viking cut resistant gloves. It doesn't stop punctures, but the slashing, it will stop completely. There we go. There we are. Change of color. Another set the hook. It's all bait fuel. Ha ha ha. Beautiful walleye. Lots of fun. Now, keep track of your depth, because a lot of times they'll sit in the same zone. It'll change during the day, it'll change with light penetration and fronts coming in, but a lot of times once they school up and stay in a zone because of the bait, they're going to stay there. Again, the eyes help. All right, troublemaker, where are you? Another, again, wire leader for a pike. Already got my glove on. I already had a good look at him. He's been all over the boat. But let me tell you, if you don't have a wire leader on when you're even walleye fishing, fish like this, you'll be busting off all your lures, or at least weakening your line. Then you get that monster of a lifetime on, and it's going to pop your line. These nickel titanium leaders is bronzy copper color anyway. In this tannic water, it just blends right in completely. So it's basically invisible in the water anyway, and it's not taken away from any of my walleye fishing. There we go. Just lightly hooked, I think. Okay, I'm not doing that. I don't want them damaging my line because of their teeth. I sure don't want them damaging my fingers. Pop you out. There we are. Pretty little fish. Gorgeous color. And let's see, I'll see you when you're 2 feet longer someday. There you go. And anybody that fishes, they know pike. There's that smell, and when you're walleye fishing, or when you want to catch walleye mixed with your pike, if you can smell that, the walleye smell that. And like I said, I'm going to wipe down my leader, and the way he had that lure, my plastic's getting changed. It's coming off. I'm going to wipe down that jig head and put a fresh one on, because when you got an inactive walleye sniffing at your grub, I want that bait fuel working. I don't want them smelling pike. We've all been in that situation where you're in an area and you're into a great bite and it shuts off, and it's because a pike or a muskie come in. Go the little extra effort, you're going to catch more fish. Hold myself off that edge. And you know, it doesn't matter where you are, 90% of the fish are in 10% of the area. You need to find that 10%, the structure, the bait. Yeah, you can have one here and one there, but big lake or small lakes, there's always the golden spot. Whether the wind has pushed all the bait into a certain area, or it's just the better structure. If it's a big lake, you can almost cut it into half or quarters and go, let me concentrate on this whole area and go, where's the key spots here? And hit those key spots, and take another section and go, where's the key spots in this area? Nice little walleye again. Oh, you love these set the hook grubs. There's beautiful bait fuel in them. The scent, they just won't let go. Just such fun fish. I see why people eat them. They smell good. I see why the pike want to eat them too. Okay, that's why you use a wire leader on these lakes. As this is a decent pike. There you are. All right, now I don't think you're gonna fit in the net. What are you gonna do, fella? Put my glove on. Let's see, I just want to put the one glove on. I better put both on. We'll see, we'll see. Fun, fun fish. All right, there you are. There's a nice pike. And my pliers are where? Right there. Pop you out. That's why you use a wire leader. And like I said, it's a not too kinky nickel titanium. It's a bronze in color. And even the walleye don't see it. And if I didn't have it, I wouldn't have caught this fish. There you go, buddy. Thank you. I love the sensitivity of this rod. Even as it's dropping, I can feel that little blade going thump, 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 thump. Then I lift and I feel vroom, then thump, 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 thump. And then when it hits the bottom, I can tell when it's hit the bottom. And you gotta be near the bottom to catch some of these fish a lot of the times. Come on. What you got? What you got? Nice little walleye. Okay, I've caught so many. I'm just getting daring now. Because if they fall off, I really don't care. Haha, sweet little fish. Yeah, right where you're supposed to be, right off that point. Yeah, what are you? And when the wind's blowing like this earlier today, I was just drifting and lifting and dropping, and the wind's picked up. Still using my Minn Kota for boat control, staying on an edge, but I'm drifting at a mile an hour. I'm basically just trolling this thing down the edges. Sensitivity. You feel everything with a good rod and reel. Smooth drag like this Daiwa Ballistic, because I don't want to rip a hook out. These little Tatula rods, so sensitive. And another nice little eye. Come on, buddy, into the net. Yeah. All right, I'm just gonna leave you there for a second and get my glove back on. And this one, this Tatula, two-piece, so it makes it easy to go in and out of little fly-ins like this. Everything helps. Everything makes it more enjoyable. And this braided line, this is the Seagar Tactics. It's a camouflage braided line. And in this color water, you just don't even see it. There we go. And again, if I didn't have eyes, I wouldn't know to be fishing way out away in the middle of nowhere. And there's an edge that comes all the way out here. And another little bonus. Thank you, sweetie.
Fishful Thinking is brought to you by Mercury Marine. Princecraft boats dominate the waters. Revo sunglasses. And Ram trucks built to serve. Tackle today Seagar Tactics 4-strand camo braided lines. Daiwa Ballistic LT Light and Tough spinning reels. 12-pound test not too kinky nickel titanium leader wire. Daiwa Tatula 2-piece rods with X45 bias graphite construction. 100% protection from UV, A, B, and C with Revo sunglasses. 3-inch grubs with bait fuel by Set the Hook. With tilt and extendable handle, the Minn Kota Traxxas trolling motors. Viking cut-resistant NBR palm-coated gloves. Humminbird Helix 5 portable fish finder with GPS. And Viking 100% waterproof jackets, pants, and bibs. Cochrane Air Services in Northern Ontario, specializing in walleye and pike, with cabins on remote, lightly fished lakes.
I don't know if I've ever caught a smallmouth bass like this. Oh, look, I'm shaking. I'm actually shaking. Look at that. Look at that. Giant.